Hi, and welcome to my Absolutely August 2018 Fitness Challenge. So for this month, we're working all on the core, the abdominals, and today I'm going to show you the exercises in the calendar. So there are 2 exercises per day, and I'm suggesting that you do each exercise for 1 minute. However, there's a number of planks or plank type things, so if you need to modify and only plank for 30 seconds or as long as you can, then what you're going to do is do as best as you can, write it on the calendar, and the following week try to beat whatever time that you did it before. So as you can see, I'm a little compromised. I'm going to do the best I can to demonstrate. So the first day, I'll start on a Wednesday. So on the first, on Wednesdays, you're going to do bike roll-ups. So let me demonstrate that. So you're going to lie back. I'll show you the exercise and then I'll modify. Hands behind the head, if you can. Knees are up in tabletop. You bend the knees and bring the opposite elbow here. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you roll up. Now you can see I just kind of keep my knees bent and I roll up here and then I come down. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I come up and I roll down. Just like this. Now to modify, you can put your feet on the ground and you can do this right here, more of a little bit of a march. And then you can either only roll up part way, or if you can get all the way up, straighten your legs and roll up all the way, leaving your feet on the floor. That's up to you. So that's a good way to modify. So let's just do a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. Good. 2 more. 2, 3, 4, and up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. So you would do those for about a minute. Now the second exercise is the actual plank. So you go on your elbows and toes. And you're just going to keep your body nice and flat here. Just like this. You don't want to push your hips up. You don't want to shift your body forward like that. You just want to stay right here. And if for some reason you're not able to hold the plank, you're just going to drop your knees down just like that. So I'm not doing a big, I'm not going back like this, like that. I'm just going from here to here. So if you need to start on your knees, that's fine. You're just going to hold the plank for up to 1 minute for now. Now, as you progress through the month, if you're already a person who can hold the plank for a minute, you might decide that your goal is going to be 2 minutes by the end of the month, or just see as long as you can hold it, and just keep writing that down on the paper, on the calendar, and keep challenging yourself. But just keep your hips stacked. Now, it's important that you don't clasp your hands, so that you roll your shoulders, keep your shoulder blades flat, belly is pulling in towards the back. And that's our plank. Good. Now the next day, Thursdays, are going to be flutter kicks. So I'll show you a few modifications for that. So the flutter kick can be done just like this, with your hands behind your head and your legs out extended, and you're just fluttering your legs, just lifting and lowering the legs. Trying to keep them straight by pushing your heels, extending out through your heels. If you're pretty far experienced with these, or pretty well experienced with these, you're going to reach your arms by your ears, just like this. Now, if you want to modify, you can lift your legs in a bigger range of motion. That'll take pressure off your back. Another thing you can do is sometimes you might see people stick their hands under their hips to give them a little bit of support on the spine right here. And you can also do this with your head down. You just want to make sure you're not straining your back. So if you feel straining your back, you're going to maybe modify with these, the single leg drop right here. Now we're going to go back to the flutter kick. Let me just do a couple of these. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And that's paired with the side plank. So we'll do side plank right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get onto our legs. We're going to stack our legs, and if that is stacked, then we're going to see if we can hold it just like this. So we're stacking and we're lifting up right here, and we're holding right here. Now for actual proper form, you want to look up at your hands just like this. You want to hold that position. Try to get to a minute. If you're new, to side planking, and you can hold it, but just not for a minute. Just hold it as long as you can, then write it on the calendar and see if you can beat your time the next week. Now I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to show you a few modifications. So you can stack and put one knee down and one leg out and hold right here. So if I'm holding this position right here, I'm still engaging my core. I just have a little bit more support. So I would say if you're new to side planking, start here. If for some reason you have a shoulder issue and you can't hold a side plank, then but you can hold regular plank, then today you would go to the regular plank, okay? On Fridays, we have leg drops. So for the leg drops, you're gonna lift both legs in the air. And it's okay if you have bend in your knee. I have a bend in my knee and my legs, I'm very tight in my hamstrings, and that's what causes that. But I'm gonna try and push so my legs are straight as I can. Now, you might forget throughout the exercise, and that's okay. If you have a little bit of bend like that, that's fine. So again, I'm gonna put my hands behind my head. I'm gonna take a nice deep breath, and I'm gonna lower my legs, and I'm gonna exhale and lift them back up. So I'm gonna inhale them down, exhale them up. Now, you might find, I don't want you holding your breath, so you might find that you need to breathe through the whole thing on exhales. So you just exhale down, take a quick inhale, exhale back up. I'm just going down and up. So one way to modify this is by doing one leg at a time. You can do single legs right here. You can also put your head down, and you can also not go as low. You can only go to there if you need to. You can also put your hands under your hips again. So let's just do a few leg drops. 1, and if you're modifying, go ahead. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, and this is paired with the boat pose. The boat pose is a great alternative if you have any sort of shoulder or upper body injury and you cannot hold the plank because of that. So the boat pose, you just lean back and you bring your feet up. Now you can keep them bent or you can straighten them. Whoa, hold on, let me get my balance. Straighten them right here. It's up to you. So this would be a great place to start. And then once you've got that, you can hold them out right here. You can put your arms here, arms here, arms here. So in order of challenging, your arms out to the side. This is more challenging, and this is the most. So you decide if you want to hold that boat pose with the arms in which position. And again, this is something that you might need to work up to. The boat pose is something that most of us don't really do, so you might want to do that. Another modification is holding it one leg up at a time. And you can do that where you hold this, and then you switch halfway through, and then you get to this point. And again, here or here. Okay? So then on Saturdays, I believe it is, the rope 2, we do torso twists. Now there's a few ways you can do the torso twist. If you have a resistance tube and something to anchor it with, which I don't have anything to anchor it with, I'm sorry, today, you would stand up, and just back up so you get most of me, and you would wrap this around something, and then you would keep your arms straight. My feet are gonna be here, arms are straight, and I twist across, and I lift this heel. See how they pivot up? Pivot my leg in, and my heel comes up, and I twist, and I go back, just like this. So that's a torso twist with resistance. Now, for someone like me who doesn't have anything to anchor with, and maybe I don't have a band, I'm gonna pull right here, and I'm gonna twist right here. So these are just a little bit of a standing abdominal for you. You can just twist right in here, just like that. And then of course we do the other side. So again, if you have a resistance band or tube and something to anchor it to, you would just wrap that around something very stable, a beam in your basement, or if you're at the gym, obviously you could use the cable machine. And if you don't, you're just gonna do these, which is great. Pulling in like this, we do a lot in kickboxing as a warm-up or cool down for standing abdominals. And then we have the plank twists, or sometimes they call hip drops, where you're in a plank position and you're going to tuck your toes under, just like you would in a normal plank, and you drop your hips to the side, just like this. Now, you can go to your knees and drop your hips to the sides here. Just make sure that when you're performing this exercise, your abdominals are pulled in tight. Okay, for some days, you're gonna do reverse crunch. So we're gonna lie on our backs again. You're gonna lift your legs up. Now you can keep them straight or bend them slightly. It does not really matter too much. What matters is the way that you move. So you don't want to use momentum, okay? So if you're doing the full reverse crunch, you're gonna lift your head up and you're gonna pull your belly in and that causes your butt to come off the mat and rock off into, or towards your knee, bring your knees towards your nose. So I'm not using momentum, I pull my belly in and that causes them to rock. So a couple of things you could do here, if you can't keep your head up, put your head down right here, just like that. And if for some reason you're having trouble, you might not be able to get your butt up much, that's really okay. Just do the best you can, okay? So you're just gonna keep rocking that butt off the ground. And that is paired with the plank tap. So you're gonna get back into a plank position and you're gonna tap your toes out to the sides, just like this. So it's like a slow plank jack almost. And you're just gonna keep doing that. Now, if you need to modify, you can go to your knees and just tap out, okay? I just ask that if you're gonna do that, you drop into an actual plank here and tap here if you can. So again, we're tapping out. Now you're gonna see it's really easy for you to draw your butt up. Please don't keep it down here and tap and keep in that plane of motion. Good. Okay, on Mondays you're doing the single leg roll up. So you're gonna lie on your back and you're gonna roll all the way up on an exhale, lifting one leg as you do it. So we're gonna inhale, exhale up, and then switch legs. So you're just alternating legs that minute or however long you're doing it. Now if you find that this is not something you're able to do, you can barely roll up, then what you could do is a couple of things. You can start by just rolling up like this, leaving the legs on the ground. Remember, use the exhale to come up. That breath really helps. If you're really basic and you're really just starting out and you cannot roll up yet, you're gonna go here and lift right here. And if that is still too much, I want you to come into this position and I want you to lift and lower the leg here, and then you would progress to here, okay? So it's up to you. Again, the single leg roll up is here. Then we've got the spider plank, and you're gonna go into this plank position yet again, and you're gonna bring your knees to your elbows, just like this, okay? Now there's a few things you can do here. If you didn't have a broken wrist, which most of you, I'm assuming, do not, you could go all the way up onto your hands and do it. I obviously cannot put pressure on this hand right now, so I can't do it. So I'm staying in the plank position. If you're modifying, you're saying if you're not really in that ability to plank, you're gonna bring the knees from the knees, just like that. So if you can, one more time, if you can, hold this plank, or even if you want to go up on your hands, you extend your legs fully and then you bring the knees wide to the elbows, alternating. And then on Tuesdays, our last day of the week, you're gonna go onto your side and do side leg lifts. There's a few ways you can do it. So on this side, we're gonna stay stacked here, elbow and shoulder stacked, lifting those legs up and down. You can use your arm if you like. So one thing I try and tell people is roll onto your cushion, not your hip bone. So wherever your cushion is, you might have to roll back onto your butt cheek a little bit more, and that's great. If you're having trouble like this, you can do single leg. You just want to lift that leg up higher. Now, to go onto the other side, just so that we have an equal demonstration here, one other thing you can do is you can lie on your arm and roll back and then lift from here. It's a slightly more challenging to do it. I think for some people, not everyone, some people, if you're pretty well fitness, experienced, you might find it the same. But for people who don't, who aren't as strong in their core, they might need more leverage. But I don't want to see you doing this. That's not great for your hand, your wrist, and take it from me, you want it to be nice and strong. So you're gonna go like that. And then we end with bird dog plank. Now you can do the actual bird dog if you want, which let me demonstrate. I can demonstrate that with one side, which is here, opposite leg, opposite arm, right here. And it's really important that you keep your body in alignment by pulling your belly in, so lifting up right there, lifting the leg here. But then you don't want to drop your nose to look at your knee, and you don't want to look up at the hand. You want to look down just at the mat, just look at the front of the mat so your head is in alignment. So you can do this, and you can hold this for a minute and then the other side for a minute. You can alternate if you want. And you can also, if you're having trouble doing that, you can also go to the plank position and do it. So now, if you're very advanced, you can do a bird dog plank, alternating your extending arms and legs. So here is what I mean. You can go here, and you can go here, and then switch, and go here, and then switch. So you can hold this as long as you want. You can hold it halfway, like 30 seconds, and then switch, or you can just keep alternating here. So it's up to you, because the cast, it can't hold it as long on that side, but that's all right. So that's the Absolutely August Challenge. I hope that you'll add it into your workout routine for this this month. It's a great way to strengthen the core without doing any sort of damage to your back. So if you've read my newsletter as well, I talked about spine health and how sit-ups and crunches can hurt your back, and these are great exercises to do in place of sit-ups and crunches, which will damage the spine, or eventually can damage the spine. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you take this challenge, and if you do, leave me some comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much.